Hi, I'm Krista Stevenson, Communications Coordinator with PREVNet. Today, I'm chatting with Claire Crooks about the Rise R project at Western University's Center for School Mental Health. Thanks for joining me today, Claire. What can you tell us about this project?
Well, thanks, Krista. So the Rise R project stands for Resilience and Inclusion through Strengthening and Enhancing Relationships, which is quite a mouthful. And what it's really all about is a program called the Healthy Relationships Program. And the HRP, or Healthy Relationships Program, is a small group intervention that was designed to promote mental health and reduce gender-based violence and other forms of violence. So in the Rise R project, what we've done is we've taken this HRP program and said, okay, it's been shown to work in some settings and with some different types of outcomes, but we know there's so much diversity across Canada in terms of different cultural contexts, what youth and communities are dealing with. And so what if we take this program and look at adapting it to be more culturally relevant, to be a better implementation fit in different contexts? So in the Rise R project, we are working with partners from across Canada to look at how do we change the program, the training, the materials, the approach to make it more relevant with newcomer youth in different contexts, with Indigenous youth, with LGBTQ+ youth, and with youth who just experience a lot of vulnerability through adversity in settings like protective services and juvenile justice.
Sounds like a great project. So can you tell us about some successes that you've had in the past year?
Yeah, I think so. Broadly, the two successes during this really challenging and strange time have been, I think, commitment and innovation broadly. And I can give you examples. But I think both our team internally, but all our partners, all our colleagues who work in this area, the commitment to try to be flexible and adaptive, but in a really thoughtful way has been very compelling. And that even during this challenging time when frontline service providers are trying to meet their mandates and handle all the things they already had going, we still have new partnerships being developed and new contexts where we're doing this work. And so I think that's promising. And certainly the pandemic has shown everybody that this is mission critical for developing healthy youth communities and families, that we need to provide healthy relationships programming and mental health programming. I think in terms of innovation, there's been just really a lot of, again, flexibility and sort of nimbleness, saying, okay, this is our new reality. If we're gonna be doing this online, or if we're gonna have to compress it or change how we're doing it, what does that mean? How do we do that in a good way? So we've developed quite a few different types of training materials. We've developed new expertise around trying to engage youth in online settings, and that gets harder and harder as this pandemic goes on, and youth are getting such Zoom fatigue through schoolwork. So they're already spending tons of time online. How do we step it up a level to make the programming engaging, that they're going to want to come learn about healthy relationships and meet other youth and learn how to end relationships, how to give apologies, what it means to be a good friend, all those skills that we teach.
So are you able to tell us a little bit more about how you're planning to move forward during the pandemic? Or
Yeah, absolutely. So and that is where our project is maybe a little different than others. We don't do a lot of the frontline programming. We've done more of it during the pandemic, but mostly we work with partners who are already have the sort of the place, and they're where youth are already connected and going, and that's who we help to do this programming. So in terms of how we proceeded since the pandemic started, the answer is we did it very, very carefully, and with a really almost partner by partner, setting by setting analysis of kind of the risks and benefits of continuing online. So you're considering things like, what's the risk of suddenly stopping a group when the youth are all connected, and maybe youth are extra vulnerable right now because they're not as connected to other supports that they would normally have, more informal supports that they would have when there's not restrictions on movement. So you're balancing that out with also then what about the privacy concerns of doing this work, and what about the trauma-informed concerns about, it's very different if you're having a talk about safety planning or sexual exploitation risk in person, and someone gets really upset, maybe because of something they've experienced in the past. You're in that shared physical space of being able to step out together. It's very different in online environments. So we've had to really almost partner by partner think about what makes sense for them. And then we've really tried to develop some guidelines and some materials around facilitation tips. Again, it's different facilitation in an online environment. And we find that we've also started a community of practice for all our facilitators doing online programming across our different partners so that they can come together virtually and share tips and strategies and do some problem solving around that. We've developed more online training modules. And it's not just our training has moved online, more online, it's also now in our training, teaching people how to do facilitation and navigate that in an online environment. So I think recognizing that we're just going to have to be really flexible and again, nimble comes to mind over the next couple of years as we maybe move in and out of this online or hybrid space. You know, when you're working with vulnerable youth who have a lot of adversity, a lot of housing instability, or maybe get moved in and out of different placements, there's also some real opportunity here with online programming that can be done in a safe and engaging and fun way. It may be that type of programming that is less disrupted by something like changing group homes or even going back and forth between different family households.
Well, it's been really great to hear about all of the work that you've been doing and the progress that you're making. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you, Krista.